Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a great day. Really exciting video for you today. So as we go ahead and press play on this one, we are actually on board with PRIESTAHH from the Minnesota ROKKR as they uploaded one of their scrims. So we didn't get it all, but at least we got one of them as they went to battle against Dallas. So I don't have a ton of information in terms of how the entirety of the scrim went or what the map count was or anything like that, but we can at least get a little bit of an idea how things were going based off of how this map went. So again, we are on Checkmate. We are right now inside of P1. If we're talking strategy wise, they have rotations for P2. We'll see if they're able to hold on to them or not. This ends up being a really close battle, as you would probably imagine it would be, right? If you're thinking about at least where I'm at, I feel like the top 5 teams are all pretty close at this point in time. There's a little bit of a distinction in my mind between the 5th and the 6th team, but these are 2 of what I consider to be the top 5 teams. I can't wait for the home series to get started here in about a week and a half so that we can start to iron things out and place teams where we think they are based on some actual data and who they've played and who they've beaten and how they're doing in different maps and modes and stuff like that. But yeah, interesting note real quick. I was actually on a podcast last night that we just started. It's called The Rotation. It's on the Minnesota ROKKR channel, their YouTube channel. So it's me, it's Ashley or Midnight, and also Kingdom Soldier. So we go through, we talk about the schedule, we talk about the matches that are coming up, we talk about scrims and power rankings and everything that has to deal with Call of Duty. So if that's something that interests you, go check it out. It's every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So nice little prime time slot there. But so far, if we're talking about this scrim and how things are going at the moment, that was the very first little break in the armor that we've seen from Minnesota. But even so, it's not terrible. So inside of P1, a lot of what you saw inside of P1 was just fighting back and forth, kind of like a tug of war, and that's to be expected. That's normally what happens inside those middle contested hills, kind of like similar to where we're at right now inside of P3, which is bottom plane. This is just a hardpoint location that I don't really love because it's very similar to P1 in that P1 is contested, P3 is usually contested pretty heavily, P4 is also usually contested pretty heavily, depending on how each of the teams are playing. But P2 and P5 are the major money hills, and we saw that Minnesota alongside P2 there was able to keep those spawns and get a majority of the time inside of P2, which is why they have the lead that they have right now, as PRIESTAHH is just popping off, as you'd expect him to do. That is what he brings to the table, right? He brings that slaying SMG potential. You're talking about Simp and Abizi with Atlanta, the Envoys with Chicago, the Shotsies with Dallas. PRIESTAHH and Attach both have the potential to be that type of player for Minnesota. Man, I cannot wait for the matches to get going this year. But back in terms of how the map's going, now things are starting to change a little bit. So just based off of having a feel of how things are going at the moment, if we're thinking about P4, obviously right now Minnesota's not inside that P4 hardpoint, so they're not getting this current time. But also, we talked about P2 and P5 being the 2 money hills. You can see right here, that's exactly what PRIESTAHH is trying to do. He's trying to get these kills. That's a big kill there on Crim6. My guess would be that Dallas might be able to rally, and they're not. So Crim6 was the last person that was back there inside a top treehouse, which means now as it rotates over towards P5 and you see PRIESTAHH come up off of spawn, they now have this back spawn, which means as long as they can get a team kill, they should be able to get control of P5 and be able to get the majority of that time. But just like that, not sure if you have noticed or not, but it seems like in this upload, couple things are being cut out, and that's fine, right? I mean, we're just kind of, it's nice to just get a pulse of where teams are at. But we lost about 35, 40 seconds there inside of P5. My guess would be some sort of strategy was being talked about right there. And also, every time PRIESTAHH dies, you can see that they're cutting away from kind of that mini-map action also. So, interesting to see. If that's what it takes for teams to start uploading scrims, please give us all of that and then some. I don't care if you cut away. I don't care if something important is said and you cut that stuff out. That's perfectly fine. I think it's just exciting to be able to actually break down what other teams are doing and what they're talking about and where they're trying to go and how they're performing. And there's so much information that we can get. Not only that, but we also learn a little bit about those teams in terms of their personality, right? That's what has drawn people to members of Optic for so long, is that we actually feel like we get to know these people. Like, we know Scum's personality. We know what he brings to the table. We're starting to learn about Envoy, and we know about Formal, right? Because they've been in so many videos and out there in the limelight. That's the sort of stuff that really builds a fan base and builds viewership. But as of right now, you can see that the lead has snuck away from Minnesota. We've got about another rotation or so left. So let's go ahead. Let's listen into their team comps. It's not something we get to do very often. I'll still pop back in here when there's things that are super important I want to break down. But for now, let's listen into Minnesota's team comps.
One shot.
Dead.
Nice, two dead. One went their side. One went their side.
Pick up right, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to get right.
I'm one shot.
Maybe probably getting plane here.
I'm hitting top plane, yeah.
Yeah. I'm right.
I'm on
Nothing's
the
right.
top.
Nothing's right.
I'm holding top plane. Damn, he's already BSND.
Copy wing, copy wing. Jumping down.
BSND, BSND.
Damn it, one shot and crate.
BSND, I'm nading over you. Press on it.
plane.
I'm full flash in front of you. Press on it.
B-wing, B-wing.
Porter, one, they're both left side weak. They're both weak.
B-wing, B-wing, challenge you point. Challenge you point, you.
He's weak open,
You're gonna make a play. Nice. I'm nading over you. Nice, good shit.
I'm getting in the plane. Don't be low plane.
Yeah, I'm going now.
I have a trophy
Watch
on
him
you.
out.
You will dead.
He's already top wing. A-wing. He's on A-wing boxes. A-wing.
I feel like I can't go on without, you heard accuracy right there saying nice play to Preston. And all he did is he was inside of that P4 hardpoint. He realized that they were being pinched from BS and D. So he just hit mid, got up on top yellow, slid across, was able to kill Illy and Crimsix from behind. And they were able to get back into the game and basically tie the score from that play out of PRIESTAHH. I mean, just a tremendous play. Let's go ahead. Let's listen back in as Minnesota's down right here, and they don't have spawns for P5, so they're going to have to pop off a little bit to get back into this one.
No one's peeking B-wing.
I got the they have one more trophy outside of Cubby.
Stack, one shot, bro. Nice, good job.
Artillery.
I'm hopping up
Give me a
B-wing.
ladder, hold on. I'm one shot ladder.
It laying down to Cubby, one shot.
Back to
Two in Cubby, both Cubby.
And back to him. I'm just gonna be back stacks.
B-wing, one shot, dead.
Nice, good shit, two done.
Kim was
Two
back,
dead, one
one
stack.
hill, one
There's
hill.
the hill. There's
Help
two
me
hill,
help
two
me
hill now. BS&D and hill. BS&D last
I
guy.
got wallbang BS&D. They have a trophy outside of Cubby.
One's low A-wing area. Oh,
Have a
two low
trophy.
A-wing. One topped up, one
A-wing,
hopped up.
he hopped up, he's weak.
Nice.
One more is gonna be the ladder or some shit.
I feel low.
One's
One's
the
the left.
At some point here, Minnesota has to get a flip. So how are they going to get to that back P2 spawn? That's the thing that we're looking here in the next 20 seconds or so moving forward.
Yeah, Finn, Crim.
Been done.
Nice, we're looking for one at least.
Back in there, back break in there.
Anderson's in back.
I'm watching
Oh,
my
I'm
cam.
dying.
Spawning out radio, let's spawn out radio.
You got me stacks. One's
Ender
blue.
in the back.
One's blue, back blue.
I
Shot
spawned
you.
here,
We're gonna spawn here.
Nice, nice.
Back blue.
Down the front.
He could be in tube.
Yo, all that.
Looking at it.
Or
multiple
Finn,
left.
two
Stack,
Finn.
stack.
One, two Finn.
Listen,
Okay,
You
I have
could
your
be on
front.
me, bro.
I'm
I'm
front.
over here back left.
What's that playing?
Back
Nice,
one
last guy,
weak.
last guy, that's last
Wood
guy.
plat, really weak.
Okay.
He's playing his
He's
life
threw a
over
trophy
there.
down. He's threw a trophy down.
He crossed towards tube. He's gonna go
He crossed
front.
tube,
Dead.
he's tube. I naded him tube, Mike. Oh, fuck.
You're good, you're good.
Have your front two, like, one.
Front.
Front, dead.
One more.
We're front panel.
And with that, an unbelievable play. It is what it is. We didn't quite get to see the break, as when PRIESTAHH was going forward, he got killed. I believe it was by Crim underneath Finn. And then as he was respawning, that's when the rest of Minnesota was able to push through and get those back P2 spawns. But right there you have it, 44 and 27 out of PRIESTAHH. Accuracy also did 6,300 damage, somewhere right around there. And they took an impressive and an exciting 250 to 241 victory. So, man, I love when other teams start to stream their scrims like this. I hope that it happens more and more often. I love breaking down this type of footage, getting to listen to and see the dynamic against other teams that are in the CDL. So, if you guys are new around here, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. When also, if you guys are ever seeing stuff like this, tweet at me. Let me know that other people are uploading. So right there at IconNationYT on Twitter, go ahead, follow me. And if PRIESTAHH uploads a film, or if Clayster or somebody else uploads a film, please send it to me. Let me know, because there's no way that I can follow all of these different channels that may or may not be uploading once every 60 days. So let me know if you see stuff like this. But with that, make sure you leave a like before you head on your way, as it really helps out the channel. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy your weekend that's coming up. We will see you in tomorrow's upload.